At one point in my life, I measured my worth in how many likes I got on Instagram, how men perceived me, and how I looked. Relationships ending rocked my world like no other, and I found myself wallowing in sorrow. I found happiness in the validation I received from other people and in relationships. However, going through that has helped me get to where I am now and has influenced me into becoming a woman that I am proud of. I wanted to make a video about love, relationships, breakups, but most importantly, how to feel whole and happy with yourself. Previously, breakups and rejection sent me into a spiral, and I get it. Neither of those events spark overwhelming joy, but I had an extremely hard time moving on and letting go. I realized this was because I did not have the strength inside to say, this just isn't it, and walk away. I wanted to share some of the epiphanies I have had in the past year that has transformed my mentality. Realistically, relationships end in marriage, or they end. I once read the decision of who you choose to marry will cause 90% of your happiness or misery. I got out of a 2-year relationship in June. However, this time, rather than relating to Taylor Swift lying on the cold hard ground, I channeled all of my energy into myself. This is how I learned to feel whole and love myself. I would like to interject and say, if you are devastated over a relationship, you are allowed to grieve. It is painful to have a person so influential in your life instantly become removed. However, if it ended, it is for a reason, and you will have to face the fact that moving on in the long run will make you so much happier. One of the first things that I had to come to terms with in order to fully be in control of my life and become the person that I wanted to be was that I was the only person who could make that happen, and I had to eliminate the need for validation from other people. The energy that I once invested in seeking approval, I reinvested in finding the things that genuinely gave me happiness, and I realized that my worth as a woman should be celebrated from within. In achieving this, the first step I took was to figure out who I was, what was important to me, and what resonated with my soul. Being in a relationship, especially for a while, impacts your thoughts, feelings, decisions, and in some way it becomes part of you. Now that you are moving forward, it's time to dig deep into who you are on your own. To start, I looked up a list of values, and I wrote down a list of the ones that I knew were true for me. Your values reveal what is truly important to you in your core. Determine what you stand by, what you stand for, and live by them. Next, I cannot preach how important I think goal setting is. Rather than waiting for your life to happen, start taking control of it. I frequently set weekly, monthly, and long-term goals that are realistic and achievable. Write them down, put them on paper, because it feels incredible to work hard for something and achieve it. Goal setting can apply to activities that you wish to accomplish, but also to the qualities pertaining to the person you are striving to become. That brings me to my next point about reflection. Reflection is crucial for moving forward because you have to take the lessons learned from the past and now apply them to the future. Often, reflection involves analyzing some negative life experiences, but I want to emphasize that the past does not define you. Whatever you are holding on to has no meaning other than what you give to it. Learn from your mistakes. Take the wisdom with you, but let the rest go. The person you were up until today is in the past. Tomorrow is a new day to decide who you want to be. If there is something about yourself that you want to improve, then you are the only person who can do something to change. The next thing I did to embrace the things that resonated with me was I created a Pinterest board entitled Me. Basically, if I were a Pinterest board, what would it look like? I added pictures, quotes, words, sayings, colors, patterns. That way I always had a place to come back to. With that, I listened to music that empowered me. dressed in clothing that was my style, and explored new and old hobbies and interests. Once I determined my values, goals, reflected, and had my Pinterest board, it was time to own up to the woman I am. We need to stop speaking negatively about ourselves and believe it. It's time to stop being so hard on yourself, and rather than focusing on all that you are not, start seeing all that you are. Stop speaking negatively about yourself, to yourself, or saying it out loud to others. We are human. You're allowed to make mistakes. Things are not always going to be perfect. We all have flaws, but own them. I think the strongest women are those who are raw in being authentic and vulnerable, and acknowledging when they are not okay, need help, and are going through something. So, give yourself credit. You are trying your best. Growth and change take time. Celebrate and be proud of yourself. Start saying, I am awesome, intelligent, passionate, beautiful, strong. Say it loud and proud because you are so many incredible things, and you should feel really good about that. Your thoughts about yourself are going to shape how you feel. Your mentality directly relates to the happiness in your life. With that, your thoughts about any situation are up to you. Focus on the positive, for if you emphasize the good, you will in turn receive it. Tell yourself you are enough on your own. You don't need other people's approval, because the only person whose opinion counts is you. That brings me to my last point, back to relationships. I've noticed women who get into relationships where they deserve more. It makes me sad that they would rather be in a low-quality relationship rather than be alone because it provides external validation. I was listening to a podcast that discussed a quote with a list of differences, and I decided to pull the ones that I thought were most important to share. There is a difference between someone who likes you and someone who appreciates you. Someone who thinks you are convenient, and someone who thinks you are irreplaceable. Someone who likes you for your body, and someone who likes you for your soul. Someone who wants to spend quality time, and someone who wants you to entertain them. Someone who shows you what you mean to them effortlessly, and someone who only shows you when you ask. Someone who sees a home in you, or someone who only sees a vacation. Whether you are moving on or in a relationship that is not fully serving you, know your worth and walk away. Now, moving on has become easy for me once I realized what I want and deserve. I saw an illustration, see rejection as redirection. If someone doesn't see something in you, view it as their loss and reinvest in yourself. You deserve someone who is going to choose you every day, not only when it is convenient for them. I've learned there is nothing you can do to change how people feel. You can't and shouldn't have to persuade someone to feel something for you. You are too good for someone who is unsure about you. I believe in true, romantic, passionate love. I know someone will adore you for all of you, every part, every quirk. Whether you are in a relationship or not, I hope that some of my advice helped. Learn to let go, especially of the people who are not right for you. Love every part of yourself. Stick by your decisions and don't let anybody rock you. Be so secure in yourself and know your worth. Focus on the positive, for there is a tremendous amount of good in life. Stay away from the wrong relationships. If someone doesn't want to be with you, it's their lost girlfriend. You are a kick-ass woman, and don't you forget it.